Welcome to our show, Defense Briefing. I'm your host, Liang Jun. In today's news, tensions are rising in the Black Sea as Russia's missile strikes on foreign flagships have drawn sharp condemnation from the United Nations. These attacks have not only resulted in casualties, but have also raised serious questions about the legality of such actions under international law. With Ukraine struggling to maintain its vital grain exports, these incidents are amplifying global food security concerns. In other news, the Honolulu City Council has decided to postpone a crucial vote regarding a proposed $1.5 million settlement for the wrongful death lawsuit of Lindani Myeni, an unarmed black man shot by police. The council members are weighing the evidence and implications for police accountability, with a decision expected in November. This case highlights the ongoing debate over police conduct and community safety. Lastly, in Sudan, the army's offensive against the rapid support forces is intensifying, leading to a devastating humanitarian crisis. Reports indicate a significant increase in civilian casualties due to airstrikes, with thousands displaced and in desperate need of assistance. The future of Sudan remains uncertain as the conflict continues to escalate. Please stay tuned for more detailed coverage on these pressing issues. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports on the recent escalation of Russian attacks on foreign flagships in the Black Sea, which has raised significant concerns regarding violations of international law. In a series of attacks, Russia targeted civilian vessels, including a Saint Kitts and Nevis-flagged cargo ship and a Palau-flagged grain ship, resulting in casualties and damage to vital infrastructure. Ukraine's foreign minister has called for international action to safeguard global food security, as these assaults threaten the crucial grain exports that Ukraine has been working to revive since the onset of the conflict. The UN and the United States have condemned these actions, stating they violate international laws that protect civilian vessels and port infrastructures during armed conflict. Associated Press covers the contentious debate surrounding a proposed $1.5 million settlement related to the fatal police shooting of Lindani Myeni, an unarmed black man in Honolulu. The city council postponed the vote amid strong opposition from police officers and city officials who argue that the officers acted appropriately during the incident. Myeni's widow testified in support of the settlement, sharing emotional details of the tragic event, while the prosecutor defended the officers' actions, citing Myeni's aggression during the confrontation. The council members expressed confusion over the lack of communication between legal parties involved, highlighting the complexities of proving liability in civil cases versus criminal cases. As discussions continue, the case may proceed to civil trial if the settlement is not approved. Al Jazeera provides an overview of the ongoing conflict in Sudan, where the army has launched an offensive to reclaim the capital, Khartoum, from the rapid support forces. Over a year of fighting has led to a catastrophic humanitarian crisis, with thousands of lives lost and widespread displacement. Experts discuss the prospects for peace, questioning whether the army can effectively defeat the paramilitary forces and what the future holds for the Sudanese people. The situation remains dire as the conflict shows no signs of abating, exacerbating the suffering of civilians caught in the crossfire and raising urgent calls for international attention and intervention. Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports on the harrowing reality faced by Hiba, a 13-year-old girl in Gaza whose life has drastically changed due to the ongoing war. Once a carefree child, Hiba now sells handmade bracelets on the streets, surrounded by the ruins of her Bont neighborhood, to help feed her family, with her father struggling to repair their damaged home. Hiba expresses her longing for a normal life filled with school and friends, but instead, she faces the grim reality of displacement and food shortages. Her poignant description of the past year as a war of hell, of genocide, a war of fire and destruction highlights the profound impact of the conflict on her young life. BBC shares a chilling report from a United Nations Commission of Inquiry that accuses Israel of war crimes in its assaults on Gaza's health care system amidst the ongoing conflict. The Commission's findings detail a systematic effort to destroy medical facilities, resulting in catastrophic consequences for the civilian population, particularly children. One tragic case involves 5-year-old Hind Rajab, who lost her family in a bombing while seeking help, illustrating the devastating toll on innocent lives. The report also condemns Hamas and other Palestinian groups for their treatment of Israeli hostages, calling for the immediate release of those still held captive. As the war continues, the report underscores the urgent need for accountability and humanitarian intervention. Yahoo US highlights the staggering losses faced by Russia in its military campaign in eastern Ukraine, particularly in the Postpones region. Since October, Russian forces have reportedly lost nearly 2,000 armored vehicles, tanks, and heavy equipment, a toll that raises concerns about the sustainability of their offensive. Despite capturing key towns like Avdiivka, the high casualty rates and equipment losses indicate a costly strategy with minimal tactical gains. The report reveals that Russian forces have lost significant numbers of combat vehicles and artillery, which would hinder their operational capabilities. As the conflict drags on, the balance of power may shift, with Ukraine potentially benefiting from the captured and repaired equipment, further complicating the battlefield dynamics. Al Jazeera reports a devastating Israeli air strike on a school in central Gaza, which had been converted into a shelter for displaced individuals, resulting in the tragic deaths of at least 20 people, including many women and children. Witnesses described the horrific aftermath, with bodies so mangled that identification was nearly impossible without clothing cues. The Israeli military claimed the strike targeted Hamas fighters allegedly using the school as a command center, though no evidence was provided. This attack is part of a broader pattern of violence that has seen numerous strikes on schools housing displaced Palestinians, with a staggering overall death toll of over 420 since the conflict reignited in October 2023. The Globe and Mail highlights the alarming escalation of civilian casualties in Sudan as the army intensifies their strikes against the Rapid Support Forces (RSF). Local human rights activists report hundreds of deaths, particularly among children, as the military uses its air power to regain control in key areas. The conflict, rooted in a power struggle, has already led to a humanitarian crisis of mass displacement and famine. Gruesome accounts of airstrikes hitting civilian markets and residential areas have surfaced, with reports of summary executions adding to the mounting concerns over the army's disregard for civilian safety amidst its aggressive military campaign. In another troubling development, the United Nations peacekeeping force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, accused the Israeli military of firing upon its posts, injuring two peacekeepers. The incidents occurred amidst ongoing hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, with the UNIFIL tasked with monitoring the volatile border region. Italian officials condemned the attacks as violations of international law, while local residents expressed their fears and frustrations about the relentless violence. The situation further complicates the humanitarian landscape, as Israel's government pushes to relocate UNRWA's headquarters amid accusations of the agency's alleged ties to Hamas, raising concerns over the future of Palestinian refugee assistance in the region. BBC reports that a court has heard allegations against Daniel Khalif, a 23-year-old former British soldier, who is accused of attempting to act as a double agent for Iran. Khalif, who denies the charges, allegedly contacted MI6, expressing his desire to work for them while claiming to have gathered sensitive information, including a list of Special Forces soldiers. The court learned that he won a trophy for Best Junior Soldier and was recommended for promotion at a young age, showcasing his military potential. However, the prosecution contends that Khalif had been in contact with Irani operatives since he was 17, even going so far as to collect $2 in cash from a drop-off point as part of his supposed espionage activities. In messages sent to MI6, Khalif detailed his interactions with a group in Iran, stating he aimed to prove himself as a double agent after being discouraged from applying for special forces due to his background. Military career took a dark turn when he allegedly escaped from prison by hiding under a food delivery van, only to be recaptured days later. The trial is ongoing with Khalif's intentions and actions under scrutiny. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopsis, thoughtfully curated by the 60O team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 60O Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 60O team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 60O Brief to meet your professional needs, you'll have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website. 60O Brief, regardless of your location. You can conveniently receive 60O Brief via email.
We flow like a river, stocks to rise and sometimes shiver. Economy goes up and down. In this game, we wear the crown. Startups popping like the news. Crypto fashion, headline views. Diversify your gains and play. Ride the wave, don't miss the day. Markets moving, never still. Cash in hand, it gives a thrill. Fortunes made and fortunes lost. Pay the price, no matter the cost. Traders hustling 9 to 5. In the numbers, we all thrive. Interest rates, they steal the show. Up and down, they always go. Recession tails, inflation tails. Smooth and rocky market trails. Bears and bulls, they lead the dance. Every move a risky chance. Markets moving, never still. Cash in hand, it gives a thrill. Fortunes made and fortunes lost. Pay the price, no matter the cost. Recession tails, inflation tails, smooth and rocky market trails. Bears and bulls, they lead the dance. Every move a risky chance. Markets moving, never still. Cash in hand, it gives a thrill. Fortunes made and fortunes lost. Pay the price, no matter the cost. 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 No matter the cost.